I think it's a very important piece of conversation that has taken place. The very fact that President Trump went back from the G7 summit prematurely because of the Israel-Iran conflict without giving an opportunity to Prime Minister Modi to meet with Trump is important, because these gatherings are important essentially for the bilateral meetings that take place, because they are an opportunity for leaders to meet in informal settings in a very short period of time. So the fact that Prime Minister Modi could not meet President Trump was a bit of a disappointment. But the fact that President Trump then decided to talk to Prime Minister Modi means that he also was keen to clear some of the air and some of the possible misunderstandings that were floating around in the media regarding India-US relations at the present moment. And here, two things are of some importance. One is the fact that during the Operation Sindoor and afterwards, there were claims made by America that President Trump's intervention that led to the ceasefire, and that President Trump had used trade as a negotiating tactic to get the two countries to accept the ceasefire. This line of reasoning by the US was contrary to what India was saying. So it was important to get this clarified. And the other is the visit of the Pakistani Field Marshal, the de facto ruler of Pakistan, Asim Munir, who is currently in the US, and I believe he's being hosted to a lunch by President Trump. There's a lot of speculation as to what is brewing between the two countries. What is it that is so important for America that it has not only invited Asim Munir to America, but also given him the opportunity of a lunch with the president? Quite clearly, at the moment, what is on the top of the agenda in President Trump's mind is the Iran-Israel war, and that war has taken a very serious turn with the various threats from both sides. It would not be too much to say that there could be a link between the two, and there is some expectation of cooperation from Pakistan that the US expects, because Pakistan is a neighboring country of Iran. So we have to see what kind of conversation takes place and what agreement is reached between the two. But at this time, a conversation between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi is useful to ensure that India-US relations remain on an even keel.
Do you think that the ongoing war between Israel and Iran may escalate further if US intervene and US launch attack against Iran?
Well, the war has already become a full-fledged war. There are missiles flying from both sides. Civilian areas are being bombed. Military installations are being bombed. So it's a full-fledged war. There's what American intervention will do will be, as is being speculated by experts, to destroy the deeply embedded nuclear sites where Iran enriches uranium, and the capacity to destroy which is not with Israel. So what are called these bunker buster bombs are only with America, and Israel wants America to use this power of its to destroy this nuclear capacity of Iran. Now, if America intervenes and does this, then it will mean a new stage of the war. But it will also mean that Iran will be completely devastated and reduced to the kind of state that countries like Libya and Iraq have been reduced to. Because Iran is not in a position to take on the US. It's difficult enough for Iran to tackle Israel. Now, after 5-6 days of warfare, we know that Iran's airspace is now almost entirely in the control of Israel, and Israel is able to strike at will. Now, if America also intervenes in this war, that will be very devastating for Iran.
see this development, and do you think that this is a major step for normalization of ties?
I think it's a very welcome step. The kind of deterioration that had taken place in India-Canada relations in the last 2-3 years of President Trudeau's tenure was extremely unfortunate. We have had difficulties in the past, but we have been able to control these problems, the problems of the Khalistani supporters that are there in Canada. There are other issues that we have with Canada, the Air India bombing. But we were able to continue a certain conversation on these issues and yet allow other aspects of India's relations with Canada, like our students studying there, bilateral trade, etc., to continue and to in fact flourish. But all that got impacted because of that wild and silly allegation of President Trudeau that India was behind the killing of Niger, for which he gave no proof. Now, fortunately, Mark Carney, the new Prime Minister, although he belongs to the same party, he has taken a step back and decided that relations with India are important, and whatever action has to be taken on the investigations on Niger and other issues, they can carry on in parallel without affecting other aspects of relations. And that is good from our point of view also, because we also want Canada to take action against the terror groups that have acquired a base in Canada and are acting against India's interests. For example, the Air India bombing that took place how many years ago now, 40 years ago, the investigation was, no accountability was ever set for that. All that needs to be put forward by our country. So that dialogue should take place. We should continue to put pressure upon Canada to take action against these groups. But at the same time, the other aspects of our relations should move forward as they were moving earlier. And to that extent, the visit of Prime Minister Modi and his conversation with Prime Minister Carney means that the two countries are willing to make this distinction between the two parallel processes and let them both move forward and take the normal course.
मोदी ने यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट से बातचीत की है। बातचीत ठीक पहले जब मुनीर को लंच पे बुलाया गया है व्हाइट हाउस की तरफ से, उस पर पहले बातचीत हुई है। कितना महत्वपूर्ण है ये बातचीत, और ये वेस्ट एशिया के लिहाज से, ईरान इजराइल वॉर के लिहाज से, उसमें कितना महत्वपूर्ण रोल देखते हैं इस बातचीत?
देखिए, भारत अमेरिका के जो द्विपक्षीय संबंध हैं उसमें इसका बहुत महत्व है, क्योंकि प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी का जो विजिट है कनाडा का G7 के लिए, उसका एक पहलू था कि उन्हें इन प्रमुख विश्व नेताओं से बातचीत करने का मौका मिलता, लेकिन चूंकि राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप पहले ही वापस चले गए, इसलिए उनसे बातचीत नहीं हो पाई। और पिछले कुछ दिनों में भारत अमेरिका संबंधों में थोड़ी बहुत खटास आई है। एक तो वो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के समय अमेरिका का जो दावा था कि हमने मध्यस्थता की और शांति स्थापित की, व्यापार का दबाव डाल के, और दूसरा अभी जो पाकिस्तान के फील्ड मार्शल आसिम मुनीर अमेरिका गए हुए हैं और वहां पे जो उनको भोजन पे आमंत्रित किया है प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ने, इन सब बातों को लेकर बातचीत करना जरूरी था ताकि ये निश्चित हो सके कि भारत अमेरिका संबंध जो है वो वापस अपने नॉर्मल स्तर पर आ सके। और इसके लिए इस प्रकार का जो समिट शिखर स्तर पर जो बातचीत होती है वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होती है, और हम आशा करते हैं कि भारतीय पक्ष को हमने ठीक से रखा और अमेरिका जो भी उसे कहना था वो कहा होगा। अमेरिका से कोई वक्तव्य नहीं आया है अभी, लेकिन इस बातचीत से हम ये आश्वस्त हो सकते हैं कि भारत अमेरिका संबंध जो है वो एक अच्छे स्तर पर आ गए हैं, एक बराबरी के स्तर पर आ गए हैं। जहां तक पश्चिम एशिया का सवाल है, वहां तो स्थिति बहुत ही गंभीर है इस वक्त, और ये फील्ड मार्शल साहब जो गए हैं अमेरिका, किस लिए गए हैं, अमेरिका ने उन्हें क्यों बुलाया है और क्या उनकी इतनी खातिर क्यों हो रही है, पाकिस्तान क्या रोल प्ले कर सकता है इस लड़ाई में, वो हमें देखना होगा, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान ईरान का एक पड़ोसी देश है और पाकिस्तान ने पहले अपनी ज़मीन का इस्तेमाल अमेरिका को दिया है विभिन्न स्ट्रेटेजिक कारणों के लिए। तो इस दफा क्या अमेरिका उससे उम्मीद रख रहा है वो देखना होगा हमें, और भारत के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में जो भी होता है उससे हम पर असर निश्चित रूप से पड़ता है, और जो क्षेत्रीय स्थिरता है उसमें जो असर पड़ेगा, यदि पाकिस्तान का उसमें रोल होता है, तो वो भी हमें उस पर हमें कड़ी नज़र रखनी होगी।